Ladies, let me talk to you today about something that's crucial to the health of your relationships and the quality of your life. It's easy to get swept away in love, to pour yourself into another person and forget the essence of who you are. But today I want to share with you 9 things you should never do with a man. These are principles that will protect your heart, guard your dignity, and preserve your purpose. When you enter into a relationship, it can be easy to start adjusting yourself to fit the expectations and desires of the other person. But here's the thing, your values are the core of who you are. They are the principles and beliefs that guide your actions, decisions, and the path you walk in life. When you compromise those values, even a little, you begin to lose sight of your true self. In a relationship, the temptation to bend or alter your values often arises from the desire to maintain peace or to please your partner. You might think, if I just let this go, things will be smoother. But compromise in this sense is dangerous because it's not about a minor adjustment or negotiation. It's about sacrificing a part of yourself. The values you hold, whether they are rooted in your faith, your integrity, or your vision for your future, are not negotiable. They are what give you direction. Without them, you're like a ship lost at sea, drifting without purpose. It's also important to remember that a man who truly respects and cares for you will never ask you to compromise your values. He will honor the principles that define you. If someone is pressuring you to go against your beliefs, whether it's about something big or small, that's a sign of deeper issues. That's not respect and it's not love. Real love celebrates who you are at your core, and it encourages you to stay true to yourself. Furthermore, compromising your values doesn't just affect you, it affects the relationship itself. When you let go of the things that matter most to you, resentment builds. You may start to feel a disconnect from the person you become, and eventually that impacts how you view the relationship. Over time, you realize that you've changed too much, and the relationship no longer feels like a safe space for your authentic self. What often happens is that in compromising, you begin to expect the same from him. But that's not a healthy dynamic. A relationship should be built on mutual respect for each other's core beliefs, not a constant game of give and take where one person feels they're always losing. The right man will align with your values, or at the very least respect them enough to never ask you to change them. So no matter how strong the feelings or how intense the connection, never sacrifice the principles that define who you are. The moment you do that, you start losing the essence of your identity. A relationship should complement and enhance who you are, not demand that you become someone else. Stay true to your values because that is where your strength lies. When you're in a relationship, it's natural to want to share experiences, merge lives, and grow closer. But in the process of getting close to someone, it's easy to lose sight of who you are as an individual. You may begin to adopt their habits, adjust your preferences, or even give up things you once loved. It's a gradual process, often unnoticed at first, but over time, you start to lose your sense of self. Your identity is made up of your passions, your purpose, your dreams, and your uniqueness. It's what makes you you. Entering a relationship doesn't mean giving up the things that define you. A relationship should be a space where you can continue to explore and nurture your individuality, not a place where it becomes overshadowed or forgotten. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that by doing more of what they like or aligning your life with theirs, you're fostering a deeper connection. But the truth is, a connection is strongest when both individuals bring their full selves to the relationship. In the excitement and closeness of being with someone, you might start making little changes to fit their world better. Maybe you stop pursuing a hobby that used to bring you joy because your partner isn't interested in it. Perhaps you start adopting their views or interests and let your own fade into the background. While compromise is necessary in any relationship, it becomes problematic when you sacrifice the things that make you feel fulfilled. You start living for them instead of for yourself, and soon the vibrant, unique person you were begins to dim. A healthy relationship doesn't require you to lose your identity. Instead, it should encourage you to embrace it. Your individuality is a gift, not just to you, but to the relationship as well. When you bring your whole self into a partnership, your passions, your goals, your quirks, you bring richness and depth. The right person will appreciate you for who you are and will encourage you to continue being that person. It's also important to remember that maintaining your identity allows you to stay connected to your own purpose. You had dreams and goals before the relationship began, and those should not disappear just because you are with someone. A fulfilling relationship doesn't mean putting your aspirations on hold or abandoning your personal growth. It means having someone by your side who supports your journey and pushes you toward greater heights, just as you do for them. Losing your identity in a relationship often leads to dissatisfaction and resentment. You might not notice it right away, but over time, you'll feel the strain of not living in alignment with who you truly are. You may start to feel disconnected from your own life, like a spectator rather than an active participant. And that disconnection can manifest in frustration toward the relationship itself. But this frustration isn't because the relationship is necessarily wrong. It's because you've lost your connection to yourself. Retaining your identity doesn't mean distancing yourself from your partner. It simply means staying true to the person you were created to be. It means continuing to pursue the things that make you feel alive, whether or not your partner shares the same interests. It means knowing who you are, standing firm in that, and refusing to shrink yourself for the sake of the relationship. At the end of the day, your identity is your greatest asset. It's what makes you stand out and what brings richness to your life and relationships. Hold on to it, nurture it, and never let it slip away in the pursuit of love. Disrespect in a relationship is a silent destroyer. It often starts small, maybe with a dismissive comment or an inconsiderate action, but if you let it pass unchecked, it grows. When you tolerate disrespect, you send a message, whether knowingly or not, that such behavior is acceptable. And over time, this creates an unhealthy dynamic where your partner may feel it's okay to continue or even escalate that disrespect. You begin to lower the standard of how you expect to be treated, and that can have damaging consequences on your self-esteem and overall well-being. Disrespect comes in many forms. It can be verbal through harsh words, criticism, or speaking to you in a belittling way. It can be emotional through dismissiveness, ignoring your feelings, or making you feel as though your thoughts and opinions don't matter. It can even manifest in actions failing to honor promises, ignoring boundaries, or treating you as though your needs are secondary. When any of these forms of disrespect arise, it's essential to address them early. Because if you don't, they can erode the foundation of trust and mutual respect that a healthy relationship is built on. The moment you tolerate disrespect, even in its mildest form, you begin to sacrifice your dignity. You might excuse it, thinking that it's not a big deal or that it won't happen again. But the truth is, disrespect, when left unchecked, becomes a habit. What's often overlooked is that disrespect is not just about how your partner treats you, it's also about how you allow yourself to be treated. If you don't set clear boundaries and enforce them, you're signaling that mistreatment is something you will tolerate. Disrespect is not a sign of love, nor is it a sign of strength in a relationship. It's a sign of an imbalance of power dynamic where one person feels superior or entitled to disregard the other's feelings or worth. A relationship thrives on mutual respect. Without it, the relationship becomes toxic, filled with resentment, hurt, and bitterness. Allowing disrespect means you're slowly undermining your own sense of self-worth. You start to internalize that treatment and begin to believe that maybe you're not worthy of being treated with kindness, care, and respect. One of the most dangerous things about tolerating disrespect is that it often leads to a cycle of justification. You might find yourself making excuses for your partner's behavior, rationalizing it by saying they're just stressed or it's not usually like this. But the truth is, consistent disrespect is a choice, and no amount of external stress or pressure justifies it. You deserve to be treated with respect at all times, regardless of circumstances. It's also important to recognize that disrespect damages the emotional intimacy of a relationship. When someone disrespects you, they create emotional distance. They make it harder for trust, understanding, and vulnerability to flourish. Disrespect breeds defensiveness, insecurity, and emotional walls, making it impossible to cultivate the closeness and connection that are key to a fulfilling partnership. And once that emotional connection is damaged, it becomes increasingly difficult to repair the relationship. In the long run, tolerating disrespect leads to deeper dissatisfaction. You may begin to feel unheard, undervalued, and unappreciated. That sense of frustration builds up, and you might even start to question your worth in the relationship. But here's the truth: your worth is not defined by how someone else treats you. Your worth is intrinsic, and it's up to you to uphold it. The only way to maintain that sense of self-worth is to draw firm lines in the sand and not allow anyone to cross them. Setting boundaries and refusing to tolerate disrespect is not about being difficult or demanding. It's about protecting your emotional and mental health. It's about ensuring that the relationship you're in is one where you feel safe, valued, and honored. If someone truly cares for you, they will respect those boundaries, not push against them. Tolerating disrespect can slowly break down your confidence and self-love. Over time, you might begin to question your own judgment and settle for less than you deserve. But the truth is, no matter how much you love someone, love alone cannot compensate for a lack of respect. Respect is foundational. It's what allows love to thrive, grow, and deepen over time. If you find yourself tolerating disrespect, it's essential to reassess the relationship. Is this a relationship that is elevating you, or is it pulling you down? Is this someone who cherishes your presence and treats you with care, or someone who takes your kindness for granted? These are difficult questions, but they are necessary. Because at the end of the day, you teach people how to treat you by what you accept and what you allow. In a relationship, it's easy to seek validation from your partner. After all, we all want to feel loved, appreciated, and acknowledged by the person we care about. But depending solely on someone else for validation is a slippery slope. When your self-worth is tied entirely to their opinions, compliments, or approval, you place your happiness in their hands. This creates a dynamic where your sense of identity and self-esteem becomes dependent on someone else's thoughts and actions, which can lead to emotional instability and insecurity. The reality is, no matter how much someone loves you, they cannot be responsible for filling all the gaps in your self-confidence. It's not their job to constantly affirm your worth or make you feel good about yourself. That responsibility lies with you. When you rely on someone else to give you a sense of value, you set yourself up for disappointment, because no one is perfect, and they will inevitably fall short of meeting your emotional needs at all times. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy or frustration when the validation you crave isn't provided in the way or at the moment you expect. Depending solely on external validation can also weaken your independence. You might find yourself constantly seeking reassurance, approval, or praise to feel secure in the relationship or even in yourself. Over time, this can erode your confidence because you stop trusting your own instincts and inner voice. You begin to question your decisions, opinions, and actions if they aren't met with the kind of validation you're looking for. This is a fragile way to live, constantly waiting for someone else to tell you that you're enough. Furthermore, placing this kind of emotional responsibility on your partner creates an unhealthy dynamic in the relationship. Your partner may start to feel burdened by the constant need to validate you. It can lead to frustration or emotional fatigue, as they may feel they are constantly required to fill your emotional cup. This kind of pressure can weigh down a relationship, causing strain instead of fostering a healthy, supportive connection. Relying on validation from your partner can also make you more vulnerable to manipulation. If someone knows that you need their approval to feel good about yourself, they might use that as leverage to control or influence you. Whether consciously or not, they may withhold validation to get you to act a certain way or to maintain power in the relationship. You might find yourself changing who you are or making decisions that don't align with your true self just to receive the validation you crave. This is not a healthy foundation for any relationship, as it leads to one person's emotional well-being being manipulated by the other. To avoid this, it's essential to build a strong foundation of self-validation. You need to know who you are, what you bring to the table, and what makes you valuable, independent of anyone else's opinion. When you are confident in your own worth, you don't need constant affirmation from someone else to feel good about yourself. You become secure in who you are, and the validation you receive from others becomes a bonus rather than a necessity. This empowers you to show up authentically in the relationship without feeling the need to constantly adjust to earn someone's approval. Cultivating your own sense of self-worth also means developing the ability to validate your own feelings, successes, and identity. You can acknowledge your strengths, celebrate your achievements, and affirm your own value without needing someone else to do it for you. This doesn't mean you don't appreciate compliments or love from your partner. It means that your emotional well-being isn't dependent on it. When you can validate yourself, you create a sense of emotional independence that allows you to maintain your confidence and self-assurance even in times when your partner isn't as vocal with their validation. Moreover, being able to validate yourself makes you a stronger partner in the relationship. You are not constantly seeking approval, which frees you from the neediness that can sometimes strain a relationship. Instead, you can give and receive love freely without the constant undercurrent of needing reassurance. This creates a healthier balance where both partners can thrive individually and together. When you depend on yourself for validation, it also makes the validation you do receive from your partner more meaningful. You aren't relying on it to feel whole, so when they give you a compliment, it's a genuine expression of love rather than something you're seeking out of necessity. This deepens the emotional connection between you as it allows for a more balanced, fulfilling relationship where both individuals are secure in who they are. Ultimately, your value and worth come from within. Your partner can appreciate you, love you, and support you, but they cannot be the sole source of your confidence or happiness. Depending solely on them for validation can erode both your sense of self and the relationship itself. True emotional strength comes from knowing your own worth independent of anyone else's approval. When you cultivate that inner strength, you bring your best self to the relationship, and both you and your partner can thrive together. Personal growth is the foundation of a fulfilling and meaningful life. It's about continuously improving, learning, and expanding your abilities and mindset, no matter where you are in life. Neglecting personal growth is like planting a seed and never watering it. You remain stagnant, and your potential remains untapped. In a relationship, this becomes even more important because the dynamic of two individuals growing together can either strengthen the bond or, if neglected, cause it to weaken over time. When you neglect personal growth, you limit not only your own development, but also what you bring to the relationship. You become stuck in old patterns, habits, and ways of thinking that might no longer serve you or the partnership. Growth requires challenging yourself, stepping outside of your comfort zone, and constantly striving to be a better version of yourself. If you're not actively pursuing growth, it's easy to fall into a rut where you feel disconnected from your own sense of purpose and fulfillment. This can lead to dissatisfaction, both within yourself and within the relationship. Personal growth is essential because it keeps you engaged with life. It's what fuels your passion, curiosity, and sense of purpose. Without growth, life becomes monotonous, and you may find yourself feeling bored or unfulfilled. In a relationship, if one person is committed to growing while the other remains stagnant, it creates an imbalance. The partner who is growing may begin to feel as though they are evolving while the other remains stuck, leading to frustration and a sense of distance. Neglecting personal growth can make you feel disconnected from your partner as well as from yourself. Growth is not just about acquiring new skills or knowledge. It's about becoming more self-aware, more emotionally intelligent, and more resilient. It's about learning from your experiences and using those lessons to become a more grounded and well-rounded individual. When you invest in your personal growth, you become more adaptable and open to change. This allows you to navigate the challenges and complexities of life and relationships with greater ease and grace. On the other hand, when you neglect growth, you might find yourself struggling to cope with change, feeling overwhelmed or resistant to new opportunities and challenges. One of the most powerful benefits of personal growth is the confidence and self-assurance it brings. As you grow and evolve, you gain a deeper understanding of who you are and what you're capable of. You learn to trust yourself, make better decisions, and take control of your life. This self-confidence is incredibly attractive and empowering both for you and for your partner. It creates a positive energy that uplifts the relationship and makes it stronger. But when you neglect your growth, you may begin to doubt yourself, become insecure, or feel stuck, which can negatively impact how you show up in the relationship. Personal growth also involves setting goals and pursuing your dreams. When you're actively working towards something that excites you, it gives you a sense of purpose and direction. It brings a sense of fulfillment that no one else can provide. When you neglect your growth, you may lose sight of your own aspirations, becoming overly focused on the relationship and neglecting your individual goals. This can lead to resentment or a feeling of being lost in the relationship, as you start to rely on your partner for your sense of identity and purpose. Growth keeps you connected to your personal ambitions and ensures that you maintain your individuality within the partnership. In a healthy relationship, both partners should encourage and support each other's personal growth. When you're both committed to becoming better versions of yourselves, it creates a dynamic of mutual respect, admiration, and inspiration. You push each other to reach new heights and celebrate each other's achievements. However, when you neglect your own growth, you not only deprive yourself of these benefits, but also deny your partner the opportunity to grow alongside you. The relationship can become stagnant, with both partners feeling unchallenged and unmotivated. Neglecting personal growth can also lead to complacency. You may start to take things for granted, stop setting new goals, or lose the drive to improve yourself. This can lead to dissatisfaction in the relationship, as both you and your partner may begin to feel unfulfilled or disconnected. Personal growth keeps you engaged, curious, and motivated, and it helps you avoid the pitfalls of complacency. It ensures that you're always evolving, both as an individual and as a partner. Furthermore, personal growth is essential for maintaining emotional and mental health. When you're actively working on yourself, whether through learning new skills, cultivating mindfulness, or improving your emotional intelligence, you're better equipped to handle the ups and downs of life and relationships. Neglecting this growth can leave you feeling overwhelmed, stressed, or unfulfilled, making it harder to cope with challenges. Growth gives you the tools and resilience needed to face difficulties with a positive mindset and a sense of empowerment. In the end, personal growth is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. It's what allows you to continually become the best version of yourself. And it's what enables you to bring your full, authentic self to the relationship. Neglecting this growth does a disservice to both you and your partner. When you commit to your personal growth, you enhance your life, your sense of self, and your relationship, creating a fulfilling and enriching experience for both you and your partner. Over-sacrificing your needs in a relationship can lead to a loss of balance and harmony, both within yourself and within the partnership. While compromise is a natural part of any healthy relationship, consistently putting your own needs aside can result in emotional exhaustion, resentment, and an unhealthy dynamic. When you over-sacrifice, you begin to devalue your own desires, goals, and well-being, placing more importance on the other person's needs at the expense of your own. A relationship should be built on mutual respect and reciprocity, where both partners feel heard, valued, and supported. When you over-sacrifice, you disrupt this balance by giving more than you are receiving. This can leave you feeling unappreciated and drained as your needs and desires go unmet over time. It may feel like you're constantly pouring into someone else's cup while your own remains empty. This dynamic can create emotional fatigue, leading you to feel as though you are shouldering the weight of the relationship by yourself. Sacrificing your needs may seem like a loving or selfless act in the moment, but over time it can erode your sense of self-worth and personal fulfillment. You might find yourself becoming disconnected from the things that once brought you joy, passion, or purpose. When you continually prioritize someone else's happiness over your own, you risk losing sight of your own identity and what makes you feel alive and fulfilled. This can lead to feelings of frustration, loneliness, and even resentment towards your partner, as you begin to feel that your needs are being overlooked or ignored. Additionally, over-sacrificing can create a dynamic where your partner becomes accustomed to always getting their way, expecting you to consistently compromise. This can foster an unbalanced relationship where your needs are no longer considered as important, and you may begin to feel like your voice is not being heard. Over time, this can lead to a lack of respect or appreciation from your partner, as they may start to take your sacrifices for granted. The relationship then becomes one-sided, with one person constantly giving and the other constantly receiving. Over-sacrificing can also create a dependency in the relationship where you begin to rely on the validation of the other person for your own sense of worth. You may feel that if you don't constantly cater to their needs, the relationship might falter, or they might not appreciate or love you as much. This can lead to feelings of insecurity as you start to believe that your value in the relationship is tied solely to how much you are willing to sacrifice. This is an unhealthy mindset, as it puts your happiness in the hands of someone else instead of within your own control. Furthermore, when you over-sacrifice, you may begin to suppress your own emotions and desires in an attempt to keep the peace or avoid conflict. While this might seem like a temporary solution, it can build up over time, causing internal stress and tension. By continuously neglecting your own needs, you risk suppressing your true feelings, leading to emotional distance or even passive-aggressive behavior. These unspoken tensions can slowly erode the trust and connection in the relationship, creating a barrier between you and your partner. Neglecting your own needs also sets a precedent for how you expect to be treated. If you always sacrifice your desires and allow your partner's needs to take precedence, they may begin to assume that this is acceptable behavior. This can prevent them from seeing the importance of mutual respect and compromise in the relationship. Over time, this creates a pattern where your needs are consistently sidelined, and you may find yourself in a cycle of overgiving without receiving the support and consideration you deserve. To maintain a healthy, balanced relationship, it's crucial to recognize the importance of your own needs and to assert them when necessary. Self-care and self-respect are essential for your well-being, and they play a critical role in the longevity of any relationship. It's important to communicate your needs openly and honestly without fear of rejection or judgment. By doing so, you create a relationship dynamic where both partners are equally valued and both sets of needs are acknowledged and respected. Moreover, when you stop over-sacrificing, you allow yourself the space to grow as an individual within the relationship. You maintain your sense of independence and identity, which contributes to the overall health of the partnership. A relationship should enhance your life, not diminish your individuality or sense of self-worth. By prioritizing your needs along with those of your partner, you create a balanced, supportive environment where both of you can thrive. Ultimately, it's essential to remember that a healthy relationship is built on equality, mutual respect, and shared responsibility. Over-sacrificing your needs does not lead to a stronger bond. Instead, it weakens the foundation of the relationship. By honoring your own desires, emotions, and boundaries, you ensure that you maintain a healthy sense of self, while also contributing to a fulfilling and balanced partnership. Emotional manipulation is a subtle yet powerful form of control that can undermine your sense of self-worth, autonomy, and confidence. It involves someone using tactics like guilt, fear, or coercion to sway your emotions and decisions, often to serve their own interests. Allowing emotional manipulation into your life can have damaging consequences for both your mental well-being and the health of the relationship. When someone manipulates your emotions, they are, in essence, distorting your perception of reality, making it difficult for you to trust your own judgment or feel secure in your own thoughts and feelings. The problem with emotional manipulation is that it can be hard to recognize at first. Manipulators often use subtle tactics, presenting themselves as caring or concerned, while actually using your vulnerabilities against you. For example, they might guilt trip you by making you feel responsible for their happiness or problems, causing you to question your actions or decisions. Over time, this constant erosion of your emotional stability can make you feel dependent on the manipulator for validation or approval, which only deepens their control over you. When you allow emotional manipulation to take root, you may begin to feel as though you are walking on eggshells, always second-guessing yourself and trying to avoid doing anything that might upset the other person. This can lead to a state of emotional exhaustion, where you are constantly anxious about the other person's reactions, rather than feeling safe and secure in expressing your own emotions. In a healthy relationship, both partners should feel free to express their feelings without fear of being manipulated or coerced. Allowing someone to manipulate your emotions also gives them power over your decisions. You might start to make choices that don't align with your values or desires simply because you want to avoid conflict or maintain their approval. Over time, this can cause you to lose sight of your own needs and aspirations, leaving you feeling unfulfilled and disconnected from your true self. Manipulation distorts the balance of power in a relationship, making it more about control than partnership. Emotional manipulation can also be cyclical. The manipulator often creates a pattern where they build you up with praise or affection, only to tear you down later through criticism or withdrawal of affection. This back and forth dynamic creates confusion, making it harder to recognize the manipulation for what it is. You might begin to feel like you're the problem, questioning your own worth or sanity, when in reality you are being controlled through calculated emotional tactics. This type of manipulation can be especially damaging as it undermines your self-esteem and sense of identity. When you allow emotional manipulation to continue, you are essentially giving someone else control over how you feel and think. The manipulator can dictate your emotional state, whether it's making you feel guilty, anxious, or unworthy. This prevents you from experiencing emotional autonomy, which is essential for maintaining your mental health and sense of self-worth. You become trapped in a cycle where your emotions are dictated by someone else's behavior, leaving you feeling powerless to change the situation. Moreover, emotional manipulation erodes trust in a relationship. It creates an environment where you can't rely on the other person to be honest or transparent in their intentions. Instead of being open and vulnerable, you may start to guard your emotions, fearing that they will be used against you. This lack of trust can create emotional distance, making it difficult for the relationship to grow in a healthy way. Over time, the manipulator's actions can breed resentment and frustration as you realize that your emotional well-being has been compromised. In some cases, emotional manipulation can escalate into more harmful behaviors, such as gaslighting, where the manipulator denies or distorts reality to make you doubt your perceptions. This is a particularly insidious form of manipulation because it not only controls your emotions, but also makes you question your sanity. When you allow this type of manipulation to occur, you may find it harder and harder to trust your instincts or make decisions based on your own needs and feelings. The longer this continues, the more difficult it becomes to break free from the manipulator's influence. By allowing emotional manipulation, you also hinder your own emotional growth. In any healthy relationship, individuals should feel supported in their personal development and emotional well-being. Manipulation stunts this growth by creating an environment where you are constantly catering to someone else's emotions rather than exploring and understanding your own. You may find that you are less able to manage your own emotions or make decisions that are in your best interest because you have become accustomed to someone else guiding your emotional responses. Finally, when you allow emotional manipulation, you may lose your sense of empowerment. Relationships should be built on equality, where both partners feel valued and respected. But emotional manipulation creates an imbalance where the manipulator has control and the other person feels subservient or powerless. This disempowerment can affect other areas of your life as well, making you feel less confident in your abilities, decisions, and relationships outside of the manipulative dynamic. Recognizing and addressing emotional manipulation is crucial for protecting your emotional health and maintaining a healthy, respectful relationship. When you refuse to tolerate manipulation, you set clear boundaries and reclaim your emotional independence. This ensures that you remain true to yourself and your values, and it empowers you to build relationships based on mutual respect, honesty, and support. Ignoring warning signs in a relationship can lead to deeper emotional and psychological harm over time. These signs, whether subtle or obvious, often signal underlying issues that, if left unchecked, can escalate into more significant problems. When warning signs are present, they serve as indicators that something isn't right, whether it's a lack of respect, emotional manipulation, or unhealthy patterns of behavior. To disregard them is to dismiss your own intuition and the reality of the situation, leaving you vulnerable to greater pain and disappointment later on. Warning signs can come in many forms, ranging from consistent dishonesty to emotional unavailability or controlling behaviors. When these behaviors start to emerge, it's important to take notice rather than rationalize or make excuses for them. Often, the desire to maintain the relationship or avoid confrontation leads people to overlook these signs, hoping they will improve on their own. However, ignoring these issues can cause them to grow worse, as unaddressed problems tend to fester and manifest in more damaging ways. By not acknowledging them, you're essentially allowing harmful dynamics to continue unchecked, which can have a lasting negative impact on your emotional well-being. In relationships, people often ignore warning signs because they want to see the best in their partner or because they fear losing the connection they built. There's an understandable temptation to focus on the positive aspects of the relationship while downplaying the negative ones. However, this selective vision can be dangerous as it blinds you to the reality of what's truly happening. While no relationship is perfect, a pattern of red flags should never be ignored. These signs are often indicators that your boundaries are being crossed or that you are being mistreated in ways that can erode your self-worth over time. When you ignore warning signs, you also diminish your sense of self-trust. Your instincts are there to guide you and protect you from harm. By disregarding them, you create a pattern of second-guessing yourself, which can lead to greater confusion and self-doubt. Over time, you may lose confidence in your ability to assess situations accurately or to make decisions that are in your best interest. This lack of trust in yourself can make you more susceptible to staying in unhealthy relationships longer than you should, as you become increasingly unsure of your own judgment. Moreover, ignoring warning signs can lead to a gradual erosion of your boundaries. When you allow small behaviors to slide or rationalize them away, you send a message to your partner that these actions are acceptable. Over time, this can lead to bigger transgressions as boundaries continue to be pushed and tested. What may start as minor disrespect or inconsideration can evolve into more harmful forms of behavior, such as emotional manipulation or neglect. By ignoring these signs, you risk compromising your own values and standards, allowing yourself to be treated in ways that do not align with your sense of self-worth. In some cases, warning signs may also be a reflection of deeper unresolved issues within the relationship. For example, if your partner is consistently dismissive of your feelings or lacks empathy, it could point to a lack of emotional connection or unresolved personal issues on their part. While it may be tempting to hope that these problems will resolve themselves over time, it's important to recognize that without open communication and a willingness to address the underlying causes, the relationship is unlikely to improve. Ignoring these signs only delays the inevitable confrontation and can prolong your emotional suffering. Ignoring warning signs can also prevent you from making informed decisions about your future. Relationships are an investment of time, energy, and emotion. And when you ignore the red flags, you risk investing in something that may ultimately be harmful or unfulfilling. By not addressing these signs early on, you may find yourself deeply entrenched in a relationship that does not serve your long-term happiness or well-being. This can lead to feelings of regret and frustration later on as you realize that you missed opportunities to course correct or protect yourself from unnecessary harm. Another consequence of ignoring warning signs is that it can normalize toxic behaviors. When you allow certain patterns to persist without challenging them, you may begin to accept them as a part of the relationship, even if they go against your values or desires. Over time, this can lead to a distorted view of what is acceptable in a relationship, making it harder to recognize healthy dynamics in the future. This normalization of negative behaviors can affect not only your current relationship, but also your future ones, as you may carry these lowered standards with you. In addition, ignoring warning signs can affect your emotional health by creating a constant state of stress and uncertainty. When red flags are present, they often trigger feelings of unease, anxiety, or confusion. Rather than addressing these feelings head-on, ignoring them can cause these emotions to build up, creating an undercurrent of tension that permeates the relationship. This emotional strain can take a toll on your mental well-being, leading to feelings of sadness, anger, or even hopelessness over time. It's important to listen to your emotions and recognize when something doesn't feel right, rather than suppressing them in the hopes that the situation will improve on its own. Ultimately, ignoring warning signs can prevent you from fostering the kind of healthy, supportive relationship you deserve. By paying attention to these signs and addressing them when they arise, you give yourself the opportunity to create a relationship based on mutual respect, trust, and understanding. You also reinforce your own sense of self-worth, showing both yourself and your partner that you are not willing to settle for less than you deserve. Addressing warning signs is not about being overly critical or expecting perfection, but about ensuring that your emotional well-being is protected and that your relationship is a source of growth, joy, and fulfillment. Allowing someone else to control your destiny can lead to a life devoid of personal fulfillment and genuine happiness. Your destiny is the culmination of your dreams, aspirations, and the unique path you carve out for yourself. When you permit someone else, particularly a partner, to dictate the direction of your life, you risk sacrificing your individuality, autonomy, and the potential for self-discovery. This reliance on another person's decisions can create a dependency that not only stifles your personal growth, but can also lead to feelings of resentment and frustration over time. When you allow someone else to control your destiny, you may find yourself continually compromising your goals and desires to please them. This often manifests as neglecting your own ambitions, putting their needs and wants above your own, and adjusting your life plans to accommodate theirs. Over time, this can lead to a profound sense of unfulfillment. You might wake up one day feeling as though you have drifted through life without ever pursuing your true passions or achieving the goals that resonate deeply with you. Such feelings can lead to dissatisfaction and a growing realization that your life is not truly your own. Moreover, when you let someone control your destiny, you may also undermine your self-confidence. The act of continually deferring to another person's decisions can create an internal narrative that you are incapable of making your own choices. This can lead to a cycle of self-doubt, where you question your judgment and instincts. Your self-esteem may suffer as you begin to believe that your worth is tied to the approval of someone else. This dependency on another person's validation can create an imbalance in the relationship where you feel less like a partner and more like a passenger on their journey. Being in a relationship where one partner exerts control over the other can also lead to an unhealthy dynamic that erodes trust and respect. If one partner is making all the decisions regarding the future, from career choices to where to live, it can foster feelings of resentment and frustration. Over time, this imbalance can create an environment where open communication is stifled and genuine collaboration is replaced with conflict. When both partners cannot actively participate in shaping their shared destiny, the relationship can become strained as one person's needs and desires take precedence over the other's. Additionally, allowing someone to dictate your path can lead to missed opportunities for growth and learning. Life is a series of experiences that shape who we are and how we view the world. When you hand over the reins to someone else, you may forfeit invaluable lessons that come from facing challenges and making decisions independently. Each decision you make, whether it leads to success or failure, contributes to your personal development. By not taking charge of your destiny, you limit your capacity to learn, adapt, and evolve, leaving you less equipped to handle future challenges. It's also important to recognize that a person's control over your destiny often stems from their own insecurities or issues. Sometimes a partner may attempt to control the direction of the relationship or your life because of their fear of losing you or not feeling secure in their own position. This can lead to a toxic cycle where their need for control becomes suffocating, leaving you feeling trapped and powerless. When someone else's fears dictate your choices, it not only impacts your life, but can also perpetuate a cycle of anxiety and stress for both partners. By allowing someone to control your destiny, you risk neglecting the importance of self-advocacy. It is essential to recognize your worth and assert your desires and goals. Self-advocacy is about standing up for yourself, expressing your needs, and ensuring that your voice is heard in the relationship. This empowerment is crucial for maintaining your sense of identity and ensuring that you remain true to who you are. When both partners engage in open dialogue about their aspirations, they foster an environment of support where each person feels valued and motivated to pursue their goals. Letting someone else control your destiny can also hinder the potential for a healthy, balanced partnership. In a fulfilling relationship, both partners should feel empowered to pursue their dreams while supporting one another in their journeys. By taking an active role in shaping your own life, you not only honor your aspirations, but also encourage your partner to do the same. This mutual support creates a foundation for a strong relationship where both individuals thrive and grow together, rather than one person carrying the weight of the future alone. Furthermore, when you relinquish control over your destiny, you may miss out on the joy that comes from pursuing your passions and interests. Life is meant to be an adventure filled with experiences that inspire and uplift you. By taking charge of your path, you open the door to new opportunities, relationships, and adventures that can enrich your life in countless ways. When you actively engage in the pursuit of your dreams, you cultivate a sense of purpose and fulfillment that no one else can provide for you. Taking control of your own destiny also empowers you to cultivate resilience. Life is full of ups and downs, and when you navigate your own path, you develop the skills and mindset to face challenges head on. This resilience not only helps you bounce back from setbacks, but also instills a sense of confidence that you can overcome obstacles on your own terms. You become more adept at problem solving and decision making, allowing you to approach life with a proactive and empowered mindset. Ultimately, your destiny is a reflection of who you are and what you choose to pursue. By asserting your autonomy and refusing to let someone else dictate your life path, you embrace the responsibility that comes with shaping your future. You give yourself permission to dream, to explore, and to define what success and happiness mean to you. This journey is not only about personal growth, but also about building relationships grounded in mutual respect and shared goals. By taking charge of your destiny, you create a life that resonates with your true self, leading to greater satisfaction and fulfillment in both your personal and relational endeavors. Rushing into commitment in a relationship can lead to significant challenges that may affect your emotional well-being and future happiness. Commitment is a profound step that involves merging lives, values, and expectations. When individuals feel pressure to commit before they are ready, they may overlook critical aspects of the relationship that require thoughtful consideration. This haste can result in a decision based more on impulsivity than genuine compatibility or mutual understanding, ultimately leading to dissatisfaction or regret. One of the key dangers of rushing commitment is the potential for unrealistic expectations. When emotions run high and the desire for connection is strong, individuals may idealize their partner and the relationship, overlooking fundamental differences or potential red flags. This tendency to focus on the positives while minimizing the negatives can create a distorted view of the relationship, leading to misplaced trust and assumptions that may not hold true in the long term. By taking the time to understand each other's values, goals, and lifestyles, you create a more realistic foundation for your commitment. In addition, rushing into commitment can inhibit personal growth. Relationships require time to develop organically, allowing both partners to evolve individually while also nurturing their bond. When individuals commit too quickly, they may inadvertently stifle their personal journeys. This can happen when one partner feels they must adapt to the other's lifestyle or preferences to maintain harmony, causing them to lose sight of their own goals and interests. Healthy relationships should foster personal development, allowing both individuals to thrive both as partners and as independent beings. Moreover, moving too fast in a relationship can limit the opportunity for genuine connection. Building a solid partnership takes time, effort, and shared experiences. When the pressure to commit increases, individuals may skip essential steps in getting to know one another. This rush can lead to superficial interactions, preventing deeper emotional intimacy from forming. Meaningful connections are often built through shared experiences, conversations, and challenges faced together over time. Rushing through these stages can leave a relationship feeling hollow or unfulfilled, as partners may not have fully explored each other's complexities. Emotional readiness is another critical factor that requires careful consideration before making a commitment. Everyone has their own timeline for when they feel prepared to take the next step in a relationship. Rushing into commitment can often overlook the emotional needs of both partners, creating an imbalance that can lead to frustration and disconnection. One partner may feel pressure to conform to the other's timeline, which can lead to feelings of resentment or inadequacy. It's crucial for both individuals to communicate openly about their feelings and readiness, ensuring that the commitment is mutual and not one-sided. Another potential pitfall of rushing commitment is the tendency to ignore unresolved issues or challenges within the relationship. When individuals feel a sense of urgency to solidify their bond, they may gloss over important discussions about compatibility, conflict resolution, or differing life goals. This avoidance can create a false sense of security, as pressing issues are left unaddressed and can later resurface, causing greater conflict and strife. Taking the time to navigate these discussions allows for a deeper understanding of each other's perspectives, paving the way for a more resilient partnership. Rushing into commitment can also impact how you view the relationship in the long run. If the decision to commit feels hasty, it may lead to doubt and insecurity about the relationship's foundation. Partners might find themselves questioning whether their bond was built on solid ground or simply the result of external pressures or expectations. This uncertainty can foster anxiety and diminish satisfaction within the relationship, as individuals may struggle with feelings of inadequacy or fear of making a mistake. Additionally, the societal pressures surrounding relationships can contribute to the
who stands, his story told. He rides with grace in armor bright, fighting the dark with love, not might. He lifts the broken, gives them hope. With gentle words, he helps them cope. No sword of steel, but heart of gold. He leads with warmth, his spirit bold. He's got no shield, just open arms. Spreads the light and stops the harm. It's cooler to be kind, let the love unwind. The white knight's way is the path we find. In a world that's lost, he shows the light. It's cool to be kind, it's cool to do right. He's a hero with no fight, just love in his hands, spreading hope across the lands. It's cooler to be kind, to lift and to shine. The white knight's way, a love divine. Where the shadows bloom and voices fade, he finds the lost, gives them a place. No battles won, no kingdom claimed, but in his heart there's love unchained. He speaks with truth, he lives with grace.
Tendency to rush commitment. Friends, family, or cultural norms may create a narrative that emphasizes the importance of settling down or making long-term plans quickly. When individuals feel this pressure, they may act against their instincts, pushing themselves to commit before they are genuinely ready. It's important to remember that your relationship journey is unique, and it should not be dictated by external expectations. By prioritizing your needs and pacing, you can cultivate a relationship that is fulfilling and authentic. Moreover, rushing into commitment can sometimes lead to a cycle of unhealthy patterns. When individuals commit too quickly, they may overlook important compatibility issues or relationship dynamics that can cause friction down the line. This can lead to repeated conflicts, misunderstandings, or feelings of dissatisfaction. By taking the time to assess the relationship's strengths and weaknesses, both partners can better understand each other's needs, fostering a more harmonious and balanced connection. Taking a measured approach to commitment also allows for the development of effective communication skills. Open and honest dialogue about each partner's expectations, fears, and desires is crucial for fostering a strong foundation. When individuals take their time, they create an environment where both partners feel comfortable expressing themselves. This ongoing communication can strengthen the relationship as both individuals feel heard and valued. It also helps to cultivate trust, which is a vital component of any committed relationship. Ultimately, rushing into commitment can prevent you from fully enjoying the journey of love and partnership. Relationships should be viewed as a dynamic process of growth, exploration, and discovery. By allowing time for your bond to develop naturally, you not only create a deeper understanding of each other, but also cultivate a lasting connection rooted in mutual respect and shared values. Taking the time to establish a strong foundation enables both partners to navigate life's challenges together, reinforcing their commitment and love for one another. By honoring the journey, you pave the way for a more fulfilling and meaningful relationship that can withstand the test of time. In conclusion, understanding and navigating the complexities of relationships is vital for personal growth and emotional well-being. As women, it is essential to recognize the importance of maintaining your identity, self-respect, and personal growth in any partnership. By avoiding the pitfalls of rushing commitment, compromising your values, tolerating disrespect, or depending solely on your partner for validation, you empower yourself to build healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Every woman deserves a partner who respects her boundaries and values her individuality. Relationships should be a partnership where both individuals support each other's dreams and aspirations without compromising their own. Embracing your worth and prioritizing your needs not only enhances your own life, but also contributes to a stronger, more balanced relationship. By being mindful of these 9 important principles, you can foster connections that uplift and inspire rather than diminish or control. Remember, true love is built on mutual respect, understanding, and shared growth. You have the power to create a relationship that aligns with your values and aspirations, ensuring that your journey together is one of fulfillment, joy, and partnership. Stay true to yourself, prioritize your well-being, and seek out the love that you genuinely deserve.